after Majora's Mask was released in 2000, the next games made were released in mid-2001, which had a story so large that it took 2 games to contain. These games are The Legend of Zelda Oracle of Ages and The Legend of Zelda Oracle of Seasons. The 2 games were developed by Capcom and published by Nintendo. Originally, they were intended to be part of a trilogy of games called the Triforce series. The 3 games were to be named and gameplay based on the 3 pieces of Triforce. They were originally planned to be titled The Legend of Zelda, Mystical Seed of Power, Mystical Seed of Wisdom, and Mystical Seed of Courage. Since all 3 of these games were to be linked and played in any order with multiple endings, the development team, by the suggestion of Miyamoto, scaled them back into 2 games. What would have been Mystical Seed of Power became the Oracle of Seasons, Mystical Seed of Wisdom became Oracle of Ages, and Mystical Seed of Courage was cancelled. Many fans, myself included, may be disappointed to learn that we only have 2 games when 3 were planned. But we must remember that a 3rd game could have ruined the flow of the other 2, and the link of the 3 in general could have turned out clunky and difficult to operate. For this first video, I will be discussing my opinion of the Oracle of Ages. The reason I'm starting with this game first is simply because I own this game first, and I'm partial to it. So let's get right into the game. The opening of the game has a cinematic that shows Link riding a horse, which could or could not be Epona, to a temple in the middle of a forest. This temple apparently holds the Triforce, but when Link gets close to it, he is transported away, and then it goes into the opening title. So the game begins with Link falling into the land of Labrina. Now you don't have any equipment at this point, so the only place to go is up. And after moving up a few squares, you run into Impa. No, a different Impa. Try again. Now you're just being silly. Whoa! Oh, okay, I know designs change and all, but really? Impa's changed a lot. I know that designs change. I know. But goodness. Anyway, she is surrounded by Octoroks, and Link, being so menacing, causes the enemies to flee. Remember, you don't have any items at this point, so if they didn't run away, you would have no way to attack or defend. Impa introduces herself and notices a triangle on your left hand, the sign of a Hyrulean hero. So you walk around with Impa, who is looking for a singer named Nehru, until you see a stone with the mark of a triangle, as Impa calls it, and asks you to move it because she can't. Once you go through the path, you hear music, which turns out to be the singing of a blue-haired girl, who turns out to be Nehru. You meet a friend of Nehru named Ralph, who was expecting you and Impa to come. Apparently, Labrina is in danger, but Ralph believes that he can take anything that comes to attack Nehru. But as the old saying goes, speak of the devil and he shall appear, or in this case, she. Varan, sorceress of shadows, who possessed Impa and tricked Link into moving the barriers, come after Nehru, Oracle of Ages. Varan possesses Nehru, and as Ralph begins to fight her, Varan makes note that if he cuts her, it is Nehru who bleeds. She then tells us that Nehru has the power to travel through time, and uses it to go back in time 400 years to create an age of darkness. With Varan in the past, all kinds of terrible things happen. A young man turns old, monkeys cease to be, and a child even turns to stone. Ralph slides around and decides to go after Nehru to try and rescue her. Once he leaves, Impa wakes up and tells Link that if the mark on his hand is genuine, then he could help save Labrina. So Impa gives him the sword that Zelda entrusted her with. The hero's wooden sword. Now hold on. I know that some of the games have wooden swords and all, but really, why would Zelda give Impa a wooden sword to give to him? I mean, doesn't Zelda have enough money to buy a real sword, like one made of metal? I mean, don't you think that would work better? Does she want to give Link a splinter? Oh, whatever. Now that you have a sword, the game can really begin. The first thing you need to do is use the portal that Varan created using Nehru to go back in time. And to do that, you need to see the Maku tree. The Maku tree is kind of like the Deku tree, except it's a girl and actually has some personality. She acts as the guardian of Labrina. She seems to have a plan at first, but then mysteriously vanishes due to something happening to her in the past. You go towards the portal and talk to Ralph. He goes through it, and then you do as well. So, as you can tell from the beginning of the game, and the title really, Oracle of Ages centers around time travel. I know what you might be saying. Ocarina of Time has time travel too. And you're right. But it doesn't play as big as a role in the game as it does in Oracle of Ages. Where an Ocarina of Time could go back and forth between 7 years, you could only do it in the Temple of Time. And not much changed in Hyrule over 7 years. When you compare that to all that changes in Labrina over 400 years, and also take into account that you can go back and forth all over the land with the help of the Harp of Ages, you realize how much more time travel is present in this game. Oracle of Ages does many interesting and new things along with its sister game, Oracle of Seasons. I'll talk about that game more in my next video. One interesting addition that is present in both games are the Gasha seeds, which you plant in soft soil and grow into a tree that bears fruit. The fruit holds everything from fairies to potions to seed rings. What are seed rings? Well, they are rings that can be identified and turned into rings that give you magical powers. Some help and hurt you at the same time, like increasing the amount of damage you do, but then also increasing the amount of damage you take. Others turn you into monsters, and some of them are even throwbacks to older games. But the most important new item in these games is the Seed Satchel. The Seed Satchel holds different types of seeds. There are 5 in all: Ember, Mystery, Scent, Gale, and Pegasus seeds. The different types are found in different points in the game, and each has its own special power, except the Scent Seed. It's used mostly for ammo for the Seed Shooter, which can shoot seeds in 8 directions. But enough about items, you don't really need to know about that. Let's talk about the references to other Zelda games in this game, and it has a lot of them. Mostly from Ocarina of Time and Majora's Mask, but also other games like A Link to the Past and Link's Awakening. These are most present in the trading game, where you trade not only with new characters, but characters like the Hand, only known as ... the Happy Mask Salesman, who is anything but happy in this game, and Madam Dog Lady. Along with recurring characters, there are also races that return in this game as well. There are 3 types of fairies in this game. The item fairies that give you a boost of health, great fairies that live in fairy fountains that replenish all your health, and fairies that resemble the Majora's Mask fairies. These little guys play some tricks on you, but it's all in good fun. Gorons also make an appearance, and are shown to love games. Zoras also make an appearance, but, unlike any other Zelda game, there are 2 different types of Zoras. The Ocean Zoras that you can talk to, and the River Zoras that are enemies and attack you. Along with those returning species, there is an addition of a new type of creature. The Toke are present. The Toke live on an island to the southeast of Labrina. They are sneaky beings that steal all of Link's items. And seem to not know the difference between humans and Toke, as they call Link the Toke with no tail. This game is a great addition to the Zelda series. It did a good job of making a story with engaging characters and many levels that are challenging and enjoyable. The elements of time travel make the dungeons' locations interesting, as they could be in the present or in the past, and on one occasion, both. The bosses are not always defeated by the item you get in the level, but by skill and sometimes luck. They are also very unique. Before I finish talking about the game, I just want to go back into the story a little bit more. Varan makes her way back to the past, and uses Nehru to get close to Queen Ambi, the ruler of Labrina, and forces Ambi to have the people of the land build a giant tower. Varan uses Nehru's power to make an endless day, so people can never stop working, which causes the land terrible sorrow. And that is why Link must stop her. There are so many things to say about this game. The best thing for you to do is just play it and see them all for yourself. Next time I'll be talking about Oracle of Seasons. See you later, bitches!